All right, well, let's go ahead and get started first of all with some introductions. Something that I saw the kids do one time that I thought was kind of fun is a chat wave. So I thought rather than have everybody on the call, and we still have people coming in and leaving and things, so why don't everyone put in where you're at and how many years you've been serving Key Club in the chat box? And we'll see that fill up with all kinds of interesting information. We'll get to see where you guys are from, whether you're more experienced advisors or fairly new, and that will help us throughout the presentation. All right. Kirsten's in her first year. Steve, good to see you. Steve did a terrific presentation for us in Anaheim last year. "14 years, all right. Several people in their first or second year, so that's good. Brand new to Key Club from the Cayman Islands. Seattle, great. All right, this is great. So a few people who have been around for a little bit of time, but an awful lot of people who are in their first or second year. So that's great. Also, it's always nice to see a good mix of people. Sandy, I think I saw you at convention, right? So
that's correct. We had a nice meeting. Thank you.
Yeah, if it's the Sandy I was thinking of, yeah, there you are. Okay, great. All right. Well, it's great to see everybody. We're going to go ahead and do our own introductions for staff now. If you don't know me, my name is Matt Ellis. I am the program manager for Key Club International. Been here in the middle of my third year. So not quite new, but still finding things I didn't know I was supposed to know all the time. So with that, I'm going to have the rest of our team introduce themselves, and I'm going to go ahead and start with Michelle Schulten.
Nice to see you all tonight. My name is Michelle Schulten. I am the program director for our Kiwanis Service Leadership Programs, or Kiwanis Youth Programs. Been at Kiwanis for about almost 2 years now. I've been involved in lots of informal education throughout my career in museums and zoos and schools. It's nice to see you all here tonight, and thanks for taking some time to join us. We appreciate all you're doing for your students and additionally giving us some time as well.
Yeah, Laura, why don't you go next?
Hi, everyone. My name's Laura Holloway. I'm the Key Club Program Specialist. I'm a former advisor. I was a faculty advisor when I was a Spanish teacher in high school. And then now I'm a Kiwanis advisor. And just love working with Key Clubs from all over. The board members really drive us and keep us going. So it is a pleasure. I'm really glad that you're all joining us here tonight. I'll pass it over to Melissa.
Hello, my name is Melissa McMahon, and I am the administrator of the Service Leadership Programs Education and Training. And so part of my role is working with the program staff and helping support their education and training needs, including Global Leadership Certificate and workshops at the International Convention, and working on an advisor training. So happy to be here and see lots of familiar faces.
Thanks, Melissa. I just want to warn, for those of you who are watching the video, I just want to warn Terry Davis. Terry, whenever you lean back, we can see you. So if you're in the witness protection program, just be aware that your identity has been compromised at this point. So I just want to make you aware of that in case that's an issue for you. All right, let's go ahead and get started. And let me share my screen here. All right, I do all this stuff just to entertain myself, just so you know. And if you all are entertained, that's just a bonus.
Yeah, we are.
All right, that's great. And then here, so. All right, so you all should be seeing the slideshow now, is that correct? Yeah, see, we are. All right, we have already done this part. Now we're going to do Key Club by the numbers. Michelle Sudi Campbell is unable to be with us tonight, but I'm going to go ahead and see if Michelle Shilton will take us through this.
I will do that. Thanks, Matt. Really, we've been living by this philosophy in the service leadership program is that if we can create really great programming at a great value and show the value of that programming, and then really use consistent communication, awareness, outreach, engagement, we will be able to grow and retain our clubs. So that's really what we're working on. We are focusing on having great, outstanding programming, making sure we communicate that value to our members, our students, you as advisors and adult leaders, and really help see that growth. And growth is really a focus for us, especially after the pandemic. We're getting closer and closer of getting out of those numbers that we had, getting back to those numbers we had pre-pandemic. But that's really our focus. So here's a few slides that will show us a little bit about where we are right now across all of our club lines. Reactivations and new charters tell a story of how we're doing and the growth that we're having. And if you can see over the past few years, pre-pandemic, we averaged about 432 new total 432 total charters and reactivations with 345 new charters back in 18-19. It had a drop, but then a really deep drop during the COVID years of only 152 total new charters and activations. And then as you can see, we are continually growing the last 2 years and doubling where we were pre-pandemic. So not only are those reactivations, that 235 and that 368 are reactivation, those are old clubs coming back. But then to get to that 760 and 793 number, those are new clubs. That's all new growth. So that's a pretty exciting piece for us looking forward into the future. And then this is just a couple of slides to kind of show you where we are back into 2018. So Action Club, we're about 70% of where we were in 2018. CKI is about 72%. And then Key Club is doing really well, and we're about 90%. And we were hoping to get to 100 before the end of September. We're going to get close, but I don't think we'll quite get there. But next year means we'll make it. And then Builders Club and K-Kids have also had a really strong comeback this past year as well. And they're about 74 and 81% back to 2018. And this is just comparing where we were at this time last year. And so Action Club is really taken a big growth this year compared to 2020 to 22. We've seen a lot of facilities opening back up again. A lot of our Action Club members had connections with, home care facilities that were a little bit stricter during COVID and after COVID. And then K-Kids, we've had a huge push with our international president, Bert West, who was really encouraging K-Kids. And so we saw a big growth this past year with K-Kids. Builders Club is almost to where it was this time last year. And then Key Club has actually surpassed where we were. So we are over 220,000 members, about 5% more than where we were last year. So we're really enjoying and seeing the growth from Key Club. And then CKI is also inching closer and closer to their 22 numbers as well. So that just gives you a little bit about our numbers. One of the other kind of fun and exciting things we did here recently is that we put out a survey to all of our Key Club members, just really trying to understand more about the member experience, what they're looking for, how they're what they're gaining from being in Key Club. One of the most exciting things that we saw was about 94% of the students agree that Key Club is fulfilling the mission of being an international student-led organization and is providing its members with opportunities for service, building character, and developing leadership. I mean, that tells us that we're doing what we are setting out to do. It's really helping confirm that our activities and our clubs are hitting our mission. Some of the other interesting things that we saw in this survey is that 92% of Key Club, 92% of students agreed that Key Club offers a variety of leadership opportunities, which is great. One of the things that we're really using to kind of sell or promote Key Club is this opportunity for leadership. And it's a great number to see that 92% of our students are saying they are getting that opportunity. The other piece is this character building. It's a great piece to sell when you're looking to increase your numbers in your schools, that 94% of students in Key Club feel safe. What a great thing to have for students, especially at this age, is a place where they feel safe. And then 92% of students feel that they have a positive impact on their high school experience. So that's another great benefit from Key Club. So we'll be able to share more of this survey in kind of a general form, but we are really excited about the results that we've gotten and just wanted to share a little bit with you some of the things that came from that survey. And then I'm going to let Matt talk a little bit about dues.
So the dues deadlines are coming up. Early deadline is November 1st. If you would like a patch for your club's banner, we would be happy to give that to you as long as you pay your dues before November 1st. Also, if you pay by November 1st, we have an even better incentive for you, and that is that you would be entered into a drawing with all of the other early paid clubs to receive a free hotel room throughout your stay at International Convention. So we want to do everything possible to try and help you get to International Convention. These incentives are one way we're trying to do that. And we'd also love it for you to pay your dues just a little bit early to help us with our planning and to be able to put resources in those clubs that are planning or unable to pay on time. We'll be sure to give them some extra attention. The regular dues deadline is December 1st. Please don't be late. February 1st is where we really start, talking bad about you in whispers around the office. I mean, we'll pull up a club list every day and kind of just trash a club who hasn't paid their dues by February 1st. So don't be in that line. We don't want that kind of thing to happen. But we'd love for you to pay your dues, and those are the dues deadlines. All right, now I'm going to turn it over to Laura Holloway. You met her briefly earlier. She's going to go through a lot of resources with you. As she mentioned in her introduction, Laura is a former teacher, former Spanish teacher. She also is a former faculty advisor and a current Kiwanis advisor. So she has just a tremendous amount of information and perspective and can really help you with all of your advisor specific questions because she has done it and is doing it right now. So she does a great job, and I'm going to turn it over to her to take us through these next slides.
Well, thank you. I feel like I'm in a room with a bunch of advisors that have double, triple my experience. So I'm doing my best here, though, and happy to help as much as needed. So if you do have questions after we go through all of the resources and things that you can use for your club, don't hesitate to reach out. If you get the newsletter, you can just reply to the newsletter and that goes directly to us. So don't hesitate. We'll share the contact information as well. So I'm here to talk about the resources that we have available for your club. In October, it's all about growing your club. So I want to know real quick, see if you guys are awake. Raise your hand or add to the chat if your club uses recruitment resources such as the recruitment posters. Either students make them or you get them off of keyclub.org, personal invitations, or recruitment videos. So let's see who is using those, finding them helpful. You can do the raise your hand function on Zoom by going to the bottom of the screen and clicking reactions. And it should have there's the hands. Okay, that's good. I was hoping at least a few of you guys were using those resources. Great. So yes, Ruben had noted student-made posters work just as well. If you are starting off, if your officers are all brand new, or if you don't have somebody who's tech savvy or good at editing, you might just use what we have online. And the link that I've been dropping in the chat here and the QR code on the screen will direct you to the resources that we have pre-made for you. So in my club's instance, we take what is pre-made and then we personalize it as much as we need to. And that really helps. And then of course, we also have the contests that are related to Key Club recruitment posters and promo videos. So I'd like to encourage you to talk to your districts and see if you can't get your club's poster or video entered into a contest. it might make it to the international level and be shown at the International Convention in Atlanta next year. So hope you had a chance to get that link off of that screen. We can go ahead and jump into the video that's coming up next. I wanted to show you the recruitment video that we have for you to use. This is particularly helpful. Faculty advisors, if your school has morning news that you play, this is a short, I think it's about 2.5 minutes or so, short video that you can use to play broadcast to the whole school. Kiwanis advisors, this is also very helpful if you are reaching out to schools and you'd like to recruit or charter a new Key Club. This is a great video. Let's watch at least a good portion of it and see what it's like.
When it comes to making an impact, everyone has something to contribute. A desire to make a difference. The potential to be a leader. Maybe even a vision of a better world. With so much to offer, the question is, where can you put it all in motion? For teens, the answer is Key Club. Key Club International is a service organization for high school students. People who want to make a difference in their schools and communities and build leadership skills that last. With over 200,000 students in thousands of clubs in nearly 40 countries around the world, members are doing those things right now. Raising money and awareness for clean water, tutoring students in need, increasing awareness of mental health issues for students, and more. In Key Club, each service project is chosen by club members and conducted by club members, because each Key Club is led by students. From running meetings to holding key positions, it's the members who make it happen, and each member is inspired by Key Club's core values. Leadership is grounded in humility and service to others. A true leader listens, recognizes, and empowers. Character building is built by everyday acts of kindness, integrity, and teamwork to grow stronger relationships and communities. Compassion for others is a cornerstone of the Key Club experience, inspiring action and service to one's community. We welcome people of all backgrounds and ethnicities to join in serving and making a positive difference in our world. After all, there's nothing like connecting with people who share your values. And with Key Club, you'll find them. From your club's local service to Key Club's International Convention, you'll get unique opportunities to meet students from around the world, working with each other, learning from each other, motivating each other to new levels of impact, making a difference that lasts a lifetime, in yourself, in others, and in the world around you. Get started today.
Great. So, like the video said, Key Club is student-led, but we need to support the students as much as we can, educate them, and show them how to do things. So, as you go about doing that, please check on keyclub.org for resources that might help you kind of make ends meet as you develop their skills. So, on the next slide here, we're going to talk about the officer guides. We just did a nice update to these officer guides. They are available online. We are saving paper and saving some expense by offering these digitally. Plus, they're anytime your students need, they can't lose them. So I hope that you are able to use these. Officer training is predominantly in the spring months, March, April, May, but I would recommend that you check back with them throughout the year and point them to the calendars that are offered in the officer guides that will help them stay on track throughout the year. We also have a nice advisor guide, and that advisor guide is packed full of really helpful information. I remember just trying to take it all in when I was first starting as a Key Club advisor, and it really helped me get through that first year. So if you can access this online as well, but if you would prefer to have a printed copy, we can ship you that printed copy for your club. Just reach out to our Kiwanis Member Services. You can take that through email, or you can call the 1-800-Kiwanis helpline. So that email for requesting an advisor guide is memberservices@kiwanis.org. So let's see if you guys are awake again. Raise your hand or join in the chat if your club uses the meeting kits or the training guides. And I'll tell you what the meeting kits are if you don't know. So these meeting kits are very timely. They have them throughout the year, and they just are basically sample agendas, especially helpful for brand new officers. If nobody stayed, or everybody's graduated and now you're trying to train everybody from zero again, I really recommend trying those meeting kits. And then if you are already established, you're going through meetings regularly already, they do have some really great next steps, especially when it comes to making your projects better. So I would really like to see you guys use those meeting kits. I don't see a lot of hands in the crowd here, but at least Ida here stepped up to request that advisor guide. So we'll connect with you after this and try to get that. So I'll pass it off here to Melissa to talk about another really helpful training resource for your officers, for your students.
Thank you, Laura. So as Laura was talking about the officer guides, and that is related to, the different functions and the roles, we looked at the training offerings that the Key Club was able to offer our students. And so a couple years ago, we actually, after doing some research and also during the pandemic, we realized that on-demand, online learning is really a way to go to reach our students with their busy school schedules and extracurricular activities. And we wanted to provide leadership development training. So the Global Leadership Certificate. So if any of you who has heard of the Global Leadership Certificate, if you could raise your hand in the reactions, I'd love to see if anyone has heard of it. All right. That's great. Okay. Oh, I'm so excited. Well, it is our single largest investment. Not only was the investment in a new learning management system, but also 39 different courses that are aligned with the Key Club's core values. And then within that, we've broken them down into 12 different competencies. And if you could go to the next slide, that would be great. One of the things, this is a dashboard of the global leadership courses. And one of the things from our pilot to now, working with the new learning management system, that it's connected to our Kiwanis Connect or your MUC, so that the students can access it once they're logged into our system. There's less clicking, less scrolling. Students can learn at their own pace. I will say that we could really use your help when you put in students' emails. If you could put in their emails that the students would be able to, what's going to be on their roster, that's going to carry with them throughout their 4 years, 3 years, however, when they start in Key Club, so that will follow with them. So we would love for the students to complete it. It is throughout their time, they can log on and off whenever they have time to do that, but it is open for their whole time that they are a member. And this is a great member benefit, that it's free. It's part of the Key Club membership. So here are some of the career building and personal development skills. So there are multiple courses within each of these different competencies. And so they are soft skills and hard skills. So for example, if you go to the next slide, here is an example of building meaningful relationships. So there's course content, and then there's either a reflection or a quiz. So it tries to, ask the students, what did they remember? What did they get out of these courses? They're about 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. We involved our Key Club International board members and past board members to actually read off or participate in the content. So there's a video, and then there's some online course content, and then either a quiz. But we're also really excited, like the value of networking course. We were able to get outside Key Club alumni and CKI alumni to actually do some of the course content and share. So that's one particular course, the value of networking. I think that's the one that was SalCon, or even Felice Gordano. So if you go to the next slide, currently, so this is from when we first rolled this out in February of 2022, the full, not the pilot, but the full courses and so forth. We have 1,800 students enrolled, and over 1,000 students who have begun the coursework. And then we have over 200 Key Club students who have completed all 39 courses. And so the average student or average number of courses per student is about 16. So, if you have any suggestions, I would love to hear, either in the chat or email us at SLP certificate at Kiwanis.org, and better ways that we might be able to reach those students who have started but who haven't finished. And I will say, each of you advisors, you also have access to these courses. And one way that you might be able to get the students involved or excited about it is to maybe do one at a meeting as a group and kind of talk through, like, what is inclusion, or inspiring others, and kind of talk through the content. So if you're looking for a meeting idea, that's a great way to kind of get some dialogue going. Thanks.
All right, now we're going to turn it back over to Laura Holloway. So I have good news for you. If you loved her previous presentation tonight, you're going to get to hear more from her. However, if you thought her voice was grating and you thought, I can't wait for her to stop talking, you're going to have a bad time, because she's about to start again. So Laura, take
Here
it
we
away.
go. So I also wanted to share with you guys a really exciting chance that your club has to get a grant for your service projects. And this is a grant that occurs annually, but you do have 2 chances to apply. So the first opportunity to apply is coming up, and the deadline is October 15th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time Zone. So I'm going to drop the application and website in the chat again. I know I'm blowing up your chat with all types of links and things to click on, but this one's easy. This is just keyclub.org/YOF. It's the Youth Opportunities Fund. And what this does is basically helps grow the impact and really the value of your service projects for your clubs. Just the fact of having your students apply takes them through the process of, well, do I have a balanced budget? Well, do I have any partners? Have I sought out any resources to help further this project impact? And it takes them kind of through a checklist to make sure that they're doing things that every service project should have. So I'd really like you to encourage your clubs to at least apply and try it out. Some tips here, and these are also on that website that I shared with you. But really, we're looking to make sure that your club officers have really defined the need that they see in the community with facts. So they should have surveyed, found out what is the need in the area, and be sure to communicate that in a way that an outsider, somebody who's reading the application and grading it, can understand. Try not to use too much lingo or acronyms that we might not understand. Really define that need. Set up a timetable well in advance. This is a year worth of work. So this This timetable needs to go from the very beginning of how they're planning the project to the execution and the summary. The service project also needs to really fit the need in the population and have a good balanced budget with clear itemized expenses, and if you have some partnership, any other collaboration that you might have. Next, we're going to take a look at some of the do's and don'ts here. So this is just what we have noticed over the time. We get 99% of the applications at the very last minute. We know how teenagers can be, high school students can be procrastinators. So I think you can help them out by encouraging them to set that deadline for themselves well in advance and help them through that process. I already mentioned about the budget, but I just kind of wanted to explain how when you describe the project, it will kind of look like the budget as well. So you're going to need to consider how you're going to fund, what other sources of income you could find with sponsors or with organizations in your community. Even for donations, in-kind donations count as collaboration, and they will help you balance your budget. Let's see here. Another one that I see is one person in the club doing the entire project, or the entire application at least. And it really shows up. And we really want to see that your whole club is engaged and that you're just basically right there by their side, helping them through the whole thing. So please do not fill out that entire application by yourselves. Get those students on board. And let's go through the timeline next for the whole grant application, or for the whole grant program. So the application process opens right after our international convention, and it's closing soon, October 15th. But that is the first deadline. I wanted to let you guys know too that there's a second deadline that you can apply for funding in May next year, and that's March 1st. So let's go through the timeline here for this upcoming deadline, October 15th. So your club applies, they submit the application online at that website that I just gave you, keyclub.org/YOF. They find out about a month later in November if they get the grant or not. The grants are judged with a rubric that you can view on the website as well, and they're judged anonymously. So we take out all of the identifying information in the application and review the project itself. Then once they find out if they get the grant or not, successful grant applications will need to send in a letter of agreement. This needs to be signed by you, and you need to be aware of the agreement part, which means that within 1 year, 12 months, that you'll have spent the funds and turned in a final report, a summary report of the project, and keep those receipts. The receipts are going to need to be turned in the final report as well. So the second cycle grant also mirrors this timeline. It's just shifted so that if you have a project that you'd like to work on over the summer and finish up in the fall, this would be the second timeline would be most applicable for you. So it depends on the project that you want to do in your timeline. I think that takes care of all of the things. If you have any questions at all, I'll put my email in the chat, and you can reach out to me about any of the things that we've gone over so far.
Great. Thanks, Laura. Of course, it's September 27th, which means we are about to start our Trick or Treat for UNICEF campaign. You can scan the QR code there and see a lot of the materials. So keyclub.org/startstrongzambia with a dash in between. It'll take you to a lot of resources. We've got some great videos that we've added this year, and I do want to share one of those with you right now. And let me just play this, and then we'll talk a little bit more about some of the resources on the other side.
Hey Key Clubbers, my name is Aria Miloberti and I will be in the upcoming Netflix adaptation of All the Light We Cannot See. I am the newest UNICEF supporter and I'm currently in Kosovo visiting an early childhood development center. I hear that you are all supporting UNICEF's early childhood development work in Zambia. During my time here in Kosovo so far, I've gotten to see the direct impact and learn how these ECD centers are supporting children. I'm so excited to hear that Key Club is supporting these programs too. These programs empower communities and support their youngest members. Thank you so much for giving children in Zambia a solid start at life so that they can grow up to be passionate young leaders just like yourself. I can't wait to see the difference you make, and I am honored to be supporting UNICEF's work alongside you. You're amazing, Key Clubbers. Now, go change the world. Hey, Key Clubbers, my name.
So we have those videos available for you to download and play in your clubs. We also have another great video with Laura Hernandez, who was an Olympic gold medalist in gymnastics. And so these are available for you to download and play in your clubs, especially if they're not sure what the Start Strong Zambia project is and how these early childhood development centers are going to help these communities. So I hope you'll download that information, share with them. We have some one-pagers and all kinds of resources. If you need anything that you don't see on the site, just let us know and we'll be happy to work on those materials or find some way to get them for you. I also want to make sure that you know that this year we're doing something a little different in terms of working with our partner. For the first time, we're having UNICEF champions. And so every district submitted a UNICEF champion, and they are meeting regularly. We're hosting webinars for them. The UNICEF representatives that work with us directly are meeting with the students and sharing new resources with them. The students are sharing their best practices amongst each other. And we're really hopeful that this is going to help raise the fundraising profile of UNICEF in your district. So if you would be interested in having contact with your UNICEF champion in your district, if you'd like for them to join a club meeting, probably virtually, but if you are fortunate enough to be in the same area, perhaps they could come in person. Or if you want some district specific resources developed, they can help you with all of that. So you would just contact either Laura or me, or you can contact your district governor or your district administrator for Key Club. And we're really excited to see how this project works out. If it goes really, really well, we might expand this to some of our other partners. But so far, it's been going really great. And we've even been loading up the district champions with some UNICEF swag and some things to hand out to different groups. So I think it's an exciting project, and we're excited to see how it all comes out. Now, right after Trick or Treat for UNICEF ends on October 31st, it pretty much spins right into Key Club Week, which we all know is the greatest week of the year. Some people think it's Thanksgiving or those who celebrate Christmas or New Year's, but no, it's Key Club Week. It's always Key Club Week. This year, we have adjusted Tuesday to be Invite and Include. We heard our last Tuesday campaign just was often not the best day, and so we tried to change it up a little bit to make it a little bit more interactive. And I sure hope that you guys will help your club celebrate Key Club Week. We have all kinds of resources on the website to help you do that, and it can be a great recruiting tool as well. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Michelle Shilton. Are you taking this one, or is Melissa?
I am.
Melissa.
Okay, thanks, Melissa.
Sorry, it just took
Thanks.
me a minute to get on mute. So prior to becoming the training administrator, I had been the youth protection specialist for 2 years or 2.5 years. So it's my honor to, talk about youth protection. So remembering that your commitment as an advisor to keeping youth safe in your care, everyone from the Kiwanis International Board, who is approving policies, youth protection policies, to district leaders who are promoting and monitoring compliance, to you who are side by side with the youth. We all play a vital role in youth protection. Kiwanis goals in youth protection are protecting all of our youth members from predators, whether that is someone who is in the community, someone you might hear about that a child may know, a friend, a family member, keeping youth safe. Also providing youth with skills and development tools to inspire and engage future leaders to be their best. Or what we also like to say is creating a culture of care for our students so that they look out for the other students that are in the Key Club. If they do hear something, say something, and then empowering all of you as adult members who are working with the Key Club. So if you go to the next slide, our framework for Kiwanis Youth Protection is really the ABCs of accessible, high quality training and resources. We have in-person training, live webinar trainings. We also have recording trainings, background checks and beyond, the B. That's a way that we can screen out potential predators based on past criminal history. And then also culture of care, which is really putting resources around the students to prevent peer-to-peer abuse. So if you go to the next slide, this is just kind of a big picture highlight. So all of you should already have a background check on file with Kiwanis. If you don't, or if you're not sure, I suggest that you go to the Kiwanis Connect, your own personal page from your Kiwanis Club, and there is a link where you can either click on it and you can see when your background check is expiring, or you can, if you're in the United States, you can renew it yourself. If you are in the Caribbean, you can email background checks at Kiwanis, and our staff can send you a link. And then if you're a Canadian member, which I saw Miss French on there, we ask that all our Canadian advisors submit a vulnerable sector check from Canada so that we have that on file. I'd also ask all of you, if you haven't reviewed the youth protection policies in a while, you can go to our website, and I'll drop it in the chat. It's Kiwanis.org, youth-protection. But I'm going to go ahead and put in the chat Youth Protection Week, which is actually coming up the second week of October. And so that is a great time if your club is meeting in October and you haven't, scheduled what you're planning, your meeting program or whatever. It's a great time to review those policies. And we also have the youth protection policy training on the website that you could also play at your club meeting. So it's great as we kick off this new program year for the Kiwanis end, and new advisors might be coming on, or even if you came on in the spring and you haven't reviewed the policy, now is a great time to do it. We also have online abuse prevention courses through our partner Presidium Academy. So for advisors, we ask that you complete 6 they're 15 to 20-minute courses talking about what prevention or what abuse may look like, how to report it, how to prevent it. And then also, as part of our policies, monitoring and supervising the students that are in your care, making sure that they're safe, especially reporting any kind of abuse, or even if there's red flag inappropriate behavior between 2 students or even adult to student that is involved in your programs. And then also wanted to highlight the chaperone to student ratio that is in our policy as well. So if for a single day event, for those of you who might be planning a fall rally in person, there is a requirement to have at least 1 background checked adult per 50 youth. Now, best practices says that you would have more than that. You'd have, 1 or 2 in case there was an emergency and 1 chaperone had to, go take care of an incident or something if there was an injury. But policy is 1 to 50. And then if it's an overnight event, we want to have more supervision over those students, because overnight events, there might be a higher risk of privacy access and control over different situations. So it is a 1 to 10 one background checked adult for 10 SLP members. And so that breaks it down to one adult male for 10 youth or any part of 10 youth males, and then one adult female background checked for 10 youth females. So if you have 9 females in a cabin for your upcoming key leader event, you want to have at least one female in there. And so we also adults shouldn't be sharing sleeping quarters with a student unless it's a child, unless it's a bunkhouse. For example, a lot of our key leader events are on campsites and they are in bunkhouses, but just keeping aware that, monitoring and supervision, just keep that in mind as well. And so also as part of our policy, we would rather if something happens, we would ask you to report to our Kiwanis helpline. We have 1-800 helpline, and we're not asking you to be investigators. If you are the advisor, if you need to contact the police, if it is something dangerous or illegal, contact them right away so an investigation can start. If it's something that a student comes to you because they feel bullied or pressured, or there's maybe inappropriate pictures that were shared to them of another Key Club member, the best thing to do is work with your school and what your school's policy is related to that. But if you need to elevate it up to your district SLP, different program line, SLPDA, you can also do that, and also call us here at Kiwanis, and we can look into, is this conduct unbecoming, or is this a youth protection issue? Are we, worried about the circumstances for this particular child and need to remove them from a situation, or so forth. And then if we move on to the next slide, this is the number. So our helpline is 866-607-SAFE. It is staffed by Presidium staff. So if you were to call it, Presidium is going to say, hello, this is Presidium, primarily because they offer a helpline for a lot of different youth serving organizations based on their training and expertise. They're actually a national leader in research related to sexual abuse prevention. But the calls do get routed to our youth protection team. And if it's Key Club related, Michelle and Matt will oftentimes get involved in that call as well, and just following up with the information. Students can also, you can be a Kiwanis member, a parent, or a student who can call this number and report any kind of inappropriate behavior or even a policy violation. The callers can also remain anonymous if a student feels uncomfortable. It makes it harder for us to look into it. So we do try to say, hey, can we have your information so that we can follow up? But we do that. So I just make sure that you have this number written down. And it is on all of our Kiwanis.org and the keyclub.org websites. So keep it handy if you need it. And we're always here to help you if you have questions. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Melissa. Appreciate it. All right. Key Club is about to celebrate their 99th birthday. And the graphic says 98 years. That's because that was last year's graphic, and we don't yet have the one for this coming year. But Key Club is about to celebrate their 99th birthday. We celebrate that on March 23rd, which, spoiler alert, also happens to be my own birthday. I share Key Club's birthday on March 23rd. So send those gifts to the office. I'll be sure to unwrap them and distribute them accordingly. If some of them are marked for me, that's fine too. I'm happy to take those. And as we lead up to that 100th anniversary, we're going to keep doing a lot of different things, including recognizing distinguished alumni, celebrating our achievements, highlighting impactful service projects. If you have some memories or some Key Club experience or photos or anything really cool that you think others should see, please make sure that we get them, and we'll be sure to include them in some of our various materials that we're preparing for the 100th celebration. We're also going to have a special patch, I believe, for anybody who raises $99 or any club that raises $99 on the 99th birthday. So you can bookmark that. We'll have more information about that coming soon. I just want to give you a little bit of a heads up on that. The Key Club International Convention is July 10th through the 14th in Atlanta, Georgia. I used to live in Atlanta for a few years, so I can tell you it's a fantastic city. We're going to have an amazing time. I know that many of you have probably been to a Key Club International Convention yourselves, either as advisors or maybe when you were a Key Club member. And one thing that we routinely see in our surveys is just what a life-changing experience it is for our members who are able to attend. They develop lifelong friendships. In fact, when I've sat in on some of the alumni meetings from folks who were Key Club members in the 60s or 70s, you know, they talk about the international convention. That's one of the main memories that they always circle back to and start sharing. So I would love it if you can help your members join us in Atlanta. We're going to do everything possible that we can to make sure that you can get there. So if you're having any kind of obstacle, let me know. We'll see what we can do. But we're going to have an amazing time. It's going to be so much fun, and we really hope that you can join us. Michelle Shilton, why don't you talk a little bit about the Key Club Alumni Network?
Yeah, so let's do another raise of hands digitally. How many of you are actually Key Club alumni? Gosh, I'm not seeing. There's one. I see Bruce. Not too many. Okay. Well, this is actually also something we're offering to your seniors of Key Club as well as CKI members. Obviously, we're doing a alumni project for CKI and for Key Club, but we're also inviting them to join. They have to be 18 specifically for Key Club, but to join their senior year. I see Lindsay also raised her hand. To join this alumni network where they can network with each other, look at job postings. There'll even be some special alumni events. I know CKI is working on one coming up in December. It'll be virtual. Sometimes we'll also host in-person events as well. They're working on a mentoring component and then doing some fundraising specifically to help support CKI and Key Club projects and programs and special training opportunities. So we're really trying to grow the alumni network and platform. It's on AlmaBase. It's kind of, think of it like a LinkedIn or Facebook, but really just for alumni and a way for you to create profiles, to connect with each other, and even search by region and see who's around in your area. So we're really excited. CKI rolled theirs out first last year, and it's growing. And then Key Club has rolled theirs out this year. We are getting more and more students to join every day. So we're super excited, and especially with the 100th birthday coming up, we're trying to get more and more alumni. So if you are an alum and you have not joined, we would ask you to do that, and we'll put the link here in the chat if it's not on the next slide. But we were really trying to grow our numbers in this. There it is. I thought there was a QR code. So you can go ahead, if you are a Key Club alumni, to go ahead and join. And please encourage your seniors or even last year's recent graduates to go ahead and join our alumni network and help us grow it. It's only going to be as good as the number and members we have in the alumni. So thanks for helping us get that word out.
Yeah, and we're definitely going to, you don't need to worry if you've missed any of these links or anything. We're going to send you not only the presentation, but answer all the questions in the chats and throw them all into a document for you so that you have everything super handy, but just wanted to give you the opportunity to see this stuff here as well. Right, let's see here. Let me stop sharing my screen here. So right now I don't know, Laura, what are we? Maybe a little less than halfway done, I think. So just a couple more hours to go. Is that right? No,
so.
that's
Maybe
not
2 or
true.
3.
We're finishing up, of course. But we do want to take some time here. That's our presentation, but we're happy to stay on and answer questions and answers. If anybody has something, you can either drop it in the chat or you can just unmute yourself. We're happy to take questions on either the content we've spoken about tonight, or if there's anything else that you guys want to ask, we'll do our best to answer it. So,
Matt, I did just want to add,
I
want to add one other thing, and Melissa, feel free to add more to it. We are working on an advisor online training for you that will be interactive. I don't know exactly when it will be ready, but we are very excited about getting some special online training opportunities ready for you all, starting with our Key Club advisors. So
Yes, we're hoping that by the end of October, and we'll have messaging that'll go out in the Key Club newsletter, the advisor corner, probably something else targeted towards the advisor. But we will have a link to it. You'll be able to access it through the Kiwanis Connect. In the past, there was an education tab. We're working on exactly how you will access it. But it should be pretty easy in that you just click a link and you'll be able to take you to our online module.
And before we jump into too many of the Q&As, I just want to take the time. I see Stacy Payne Miller is online with us. So Stacy, why don't you just introduce yourself really quickly and just tell people what you do for us?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Like Matt said, I am an employee of Kiwanis and I work in strategy and operations. And I have not been on a call yet, so I wanted to take the opportunity just to, and it's been great because I'm putting some faces with names. So for all of you with your cameras on, thank you. So I've been with Kiwanis full time since May, was a contractor consultant before that for about a year. And my team consists of, I'm sure many of you are familiar with Kwan Penson. So she is on my team doing the chartering, and also Jenny Najib, and she is the sole person that processes background checks with our partner Safe Hiring Solutions. So, and then Michelle filled you in on our alumni activities, and Teresa is on my team as well. So thank you all for what you do. It's nice to be here.
Great. Thanks, Stacy. All right, let's see if you guys have any questions. And if not, then we'll all return to our normal television watching schedule, no doubt.
I have a question.
Sure. Sue, what can we do for you?
I've been trying to access Trick or Treat for UNICEF materials on the Key Club website, and I'm not finding, as of a couple of days ago, I wasn't finding a lot to help me. And specifically, I wasn't finding any of the boxes. And I did go online to the UNICEF site and found out they aren't providing them anymore. But how do we have to create those boxes ourselves? And I also saw, before you answer, I also saw that Canada is doing a campaign. They switched to a campaign where they're doing a QR code. And I'd like information about how they do that. So those are my concerns.
Yeah, sure, of course. So Laura, I think, can drop the website in the chat for you, and we'll make sure that we include that in the materials we send out as well.
Okay.
You are correct that we are not doing the boxes anymore. That the COVID pandemic sort of killed a lot of that hand-to-hand stuff that we used to do. And so we are using the QR codes. We do offer downloadable canister wrappers, though. So if you wanted to create your own kind of box, it's easy to print off that canister wrapper and create an easy box for yourself there. So you do have that option. And then you can also collect money however you want to, and then just mail the check to us as well. So you don't have to use the QR code. But for the QR code, Laura, as an advisor, you can talk a little bit about maybe how your club or others are using the QR code to raise funds.
Yeah, so I did this before the pandemic as well, and I have to say I kind of like the digital fundraising. We did not collect a lot of change and bills, dollar bills in the little boxes, and then counting all of that was quite a feat, quite a challenge. So this online donation works really well. I just saw in the chat here, Deanne just took my tip. So my club had everybody bring in a chip can, a Pringles can. They work really well for the size that the students carry them around with them. They put them in like their book bags and the water bottle holder. And so it's easy to keep track of. It fits in their bags. And they do go trick-or-treating, but I don't think that that's the main place that they raise their funds. They do that now through social media and online. So the students get the graphic that is on the website, keyclub.org/startstrongzambia. That graphic, they share it, and then people start donating. We did run into some issues. So when students are talking about the program, they need to know about what they're raising funds for. So there's some information about that. I would definitely make sure that they understand what the program is, what Start Strong Zambia is. And then the other thing is when they're talking to people outside of the school, outside of the club, they need to know to tell the person what the name of the school is so that you can get some credit for raising the funds. We do still have a patch for your club banner for raising $250 or more. But if we get anonymous donations, great. It just doesn't count towards your club's goals. So be sure that they know those two pieces of information, to share that club name and not abbreviation, and to share about the program. So did that answer your question, Sue?
Yes, I was hoping I might get some instructions on how to do the online process. Is there anything available?
It is pretty straightforward by going to that page and go ahead and take a look at where it says donate now.
Page.
Say that again.
This was on the website?
The donate pages.
It's right.
So
If you look at actually, I could just, why don't I just
Your
pull it
screen?
up and I'll share my screen.
Yeah,
Because I
that's a great
imagine
idea.
you're not the only one who has that question.
A lot of clubs. And the first time we did it, I was a little hesitant as well, but boy, it was surprising. Last year was the first time my club reached the goal that we had set for ourselves. So I think that's thanks to online donations. Matt, let me know if you need to.
Oh, there it is. I was looking right at it. I could not find the share screen. Here we go. And so, Laura, where would you like me to
the
donate now button?
It should take you to an online QGIve.
There we go.
And I think if you scroll down, you can click a different gift amount, and then you basically need to put in the vital information for the donor. And this is all saved with the Kiwanis Children's Fund. It is not used to reach out to you. It's just for our purposes, for our finance purposes. And it will get into the club's information, so you just need to know the name of the club and the location.
Okay.
It's a little small on my screen. But I think
Sorry. Yeah.
it's okay. But did you click the I'm with a club?
Yeah, I'm a club or company. Yep. So if your club collects their dues, they could submit them electronically through this mechanism. And also the QR code, those funny little barcodes, will take them right here as well. So if students are out, they can just use their phone and have somebody scan that QR code, and it'll take them right to this donate site, and they can have people donate that way. I think in terms of instructions for how to use some of the QR code stuff, that's what I would suggest.
Okay.
Yeah, great.
Any other trick or treat questions?
I would just suggest that possibly you do a link. If you go into search and put trick or treat for UNICEF, which is what we all know from the past, we don't necessarily know Zambia, or they change that on a consistent basis, that those things would be linked. I'm finding it very difficult to locate updated information on the Key Club website.
Great. Thanks, Anita. We'll make sure that we adjust our search engine optimization stuff in the search boxes and things to make sure that pulls up. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ruben, did I see your hand go up?
Yeah, Ruben. Ruben, you have to unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
Yeah, where did I go for the background checks? I think mine expired a couple of months ago.
Yeah, I'm going to turn that one over to Melissa.
So if you go to, so one way you can email backgroundchecks@kiwanis.org, and I can put that in the chat. So backgroundchecks@kiwanis.org, and Jenny Najib, as Stacy said, she can look it up. But individually, if you go into Kiwanis Connect, Kiwanis One, your own personal page, there is a link that you can click on that says background check.
Okay.
And it'll say, whether it's going to expire in 2 months or it has already expired.
Okay. I will do that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, Ruben. What else can we answer for anyone? That's it? That's all we got? Close it out at 8:07? Just in time for me to, now I will tell you guys, you didn't get the privilege of this last night, but last night before we started, I had to go in the other room and tell my wife to turn down the TV because she was watching Seven Brides for Seven Brothers, and the sound was blasting in here because we have a small house, and I was like, come on, I'm trying to work.
That's an old.
Yeah, it's an old movie, it's a good one, but fortunately she's behaving tonight, so I don't have to go in and start to turn it down.
That's too bad.
Yeah.
That was great education. Thank you, guys. I love your spirit.
Yeah.
Thank
And
you
I
very
love
much.
the newsletters. The newsletters coming out, guys. Don't you like those newsletters? They're so easy.
Yeah.
I give them to the Key Club. Sorry,
All
Ray.
right.
Speaking of spouses, I'm talking too loud. But I get excited and I give them to the kids because everybody should be educated in this. Everybody, right? So
Great.
thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Firma. I appreciate it. And with that, you're always welcome to contact us. Of course, we'll be happy